Thanks everyone for joining today. My name is Tom Reilly. I am the Chief Product Officer at CompTIA, and I'm going to take you on a little ride today on where CompTIA has come and what we've learned about competency-based education and how we try to apply it worldwide today to help people unlock their true potential. So we'll skip the topics, but these are the things we're going to cover today. Let's just dive right in. Kind of the turning point for CompTIA was in 1993. The industry came to CompTIA, people in computer equipment repair. There was no standard in the industry for when people came out to service or work on equipment, whether they were competent or not. So CompTIA, at the time a trade association, became a certifying body and launched the first true industry standard around equipment repair called A+. And that is still one of our flagship products today, although now it includes things like security, cloud, mobile, all the different things that have transpired since 1993. As we moved along at around 2010, we do a lot of work with the US government and the DoD for performance-based exams and performance-based learning. If you're deploying particularly cybersecurity, you want to be sure that the people manning those consoles don't just have information, but they really know how to manage security and execute, showing their true competency. 2015, about that time, I was part of launching CompTIA Learning. We started to really press on performance-based learning. So starting to work with more interactives, moving away from just multiple choice, moving toward interactives, moving toward simulations, moving toward labs that are scored so that you actually know how someone is done. They're timed and scored. And then moving forward into 2023, along that progression, we started to really look at all the different technology job roles out there, how we could create the best possible education for all of those technology-based job roles. And I'll talk more about it later in the presentation, but we have a major project to help people out there looking for better careers and also employers some better standards around what those job roles are and how to measure people's competency. So what we do today, briefly, we serve consumer, academic, corporate, government, workforce development markets, and we do that globally. And what we're known for more today, but we're really growing and changing, is technical certifications for cybersecurity, infrastructure, cloud, data. We also do technical certificate programs, learning, instructor-led, technical job role training, and we do free training in middle schools through a couple of our foundations. And we're building the most complete technical job role database for the technology industry. What are we doing? What's our main thing we're doing? We're tackling these major challenges. We see some of the most major challenges around competency, particularly in the tech field, is that we need to grow that talent tech pipeline. We see a lot of poach, layoff, spin, and repeat in big tech. I think we've all read the headlines in the last 6 months about all the major layoffs in big tech. And there's tons of great technology jobs out there, and that's part of our mission to help people see that those layoffs in the big tech companies are only a small portion of the jobs that are out there. We're also really focused on getting children, school-age children, interested in technology jobs or technology adjacent jobs early and helping them build that literacy as they move through school. We also are really focused on providing lucrative career pathways for those that don't attend college. College is not for everyone anymore. It's a great thing if you have the means to get a 4-year degree, but for those who don't, we need to provide better career pathways. And we're also, last thing, delivering students with verifiable day one job competency. That's a key mission, CompTIA. So I wanted to talk a little bit about T-shaped skills. That is really at the center of everything we do today, helping to future-proof careers. you're not familiar with T-shaped skills, it's where we work with people as we train them to not just develop the depth in the domain experience, and that might be around cybersecurity, networks, cloud, but we also work on the breadth, the top of the T, and helping those people be able to demonstrate competencies outside of their domain areas. Maybe it's leadership, communication skills, project management. So our firm belief is this approach prepares employees to adapt to changes, innovate, and take on cross-functional roles. And those are the kind of people who can really excel, not just get that first tech job, but excel in their career. Part of that top T, the horizontal T, we're moving outside of just technical skills. And we partnered with an organization called America Succeeds. And we're working to develop a rubric, which is just about complete. I believe it's complete this week. And this rubric is designed to help people understand their strengths and weaknesses around, key durable skills. And we're looking at moving that farther so that we can combine these durable skills with deep technical skills and really help both learners and organizations do that T-shaped skill building. That's super important for building careers. And we see this as one of the key ways that people can not only move up the ladder, but also move across to other roles in the organization. Just a quick hit here from our research team. There's definitely a growth of formal use of T-shaped skills in the United States. We're seeing that growth between informal and formal. It's a pretty high, over 80% use of T-shaped skills. All right, I wanted to give an example of using that T-shaped method of progression, using it in a T-shaped skills framework. Here's a quick example from the technical world where CompTIA works. You can see here I've got an IT support specialist, maybe came right in out of school or out of some boot camp or one of our certification programs. They're learning those core depth skills, Active Directory, cloud infrastructure as a service, mobile apps, firewall, probably some security. As they develop those skills, they can move from an IT support specialist to IT support specialist 2. And early in their career, that horizontal domain area is the key driver in gaining that toolkit. But as they develop those, they may get the opportunity to move into that first management role, an IT support manager role. In this role, they're going to have to grow into using more of the horizontal T skills, things like project management, operations, collaboration, data governance. And moving across using this T-shaped skills framework, this, as their career moves forward, can allow them to hop across and do completely different roles. They might continue to move forward in a main IT support role, or they might move across to network admin, security engineer, IT project manager, data analyst, and so forth. So this is just a quick example of how we look at T-shaped skills as we look at people progressing in a technology career. So CompTIA is known for its technology certifications. All our research shows that they're growing in importance, and so I'd like to cover that briefly. Of our recent research that we did in our Workforce and Learning Trends 2023, 80% of HR professionals in medium-sized and large companies are using technical skills, industry-recognized technical skills. So not just CompTIA, but Microsoft or Cisco or other Amazon, other types of industry-recognized certifications. So, why is that? Well, some of the things that our research shows is that it helps align to specific technologies and skills. It saves time for HR, helps to expand and diversify the pool of candidates. And industry recognized validation is important to many organizations. And it's a more up-to-date measure of expertise with current technologies than most four-year degrees. Some colleges do a better job than others. Some are still using multiple choice questions. When you go through an industry recognized technology certification, a modern one like CompTIAs, you're going to be put through a lot of performance-based, where you're going to have to demonstrate skills in a real world situation and build true job role competency. And I think that more and more is important to employers. So we've got another poll here. Who is using technology certifications as a way to search and evaluate job candidates? So Stephanie's put the poll up. Thank you.
All right, this one is a little bit more split, so I'll give it one more second and then we will share those results. So it looks like
about a third using and a third not. So one of the things, that's great. Thank you, Stephanie. One of the things that I would say about that is it's kind of in line with this other trend. With the number of college grads that come out each year into the market, we'll only fill about 20% of the overall roles that are out there. So if you're looking for new talent, what we're seeing is that certifications are a great way to vet employees and open up the job pool. A lot of organizations starting in 2018, you may have seen the headlines, are starting to drop the four-year degree. And part of the reason they were doing that is there was a realization that many of the intro-level jobs didn't require a four-year degree, or that the skills that were required are not being taught in college. Now, again, I think CompTIA's position and mine is a four-year degree is a great thing to get, but we're seeing more and more of a trend of employers looking at different types of professional and technical certifications, sometimes as a proxy for college, and also a way to open up to a much more wider, diverse range of students. Since 1980, the cost of college has gone up over 1,200%, where the regular economy has inflated about 266%. So college, 5 to 6 times higher than the rate of inflation. So that's not sustainable for a lot of people, but there are many really talented people out there. And if you start to look at widening that net, you can attract a lot more really talented people. So let's move forward here. I think one of the other key things that we're doing right now is we have a goal to build the most complete technically literate and talent pipeline. To do this, we're starting at a really low area and moving up the pyramid. And this is kind of how CompTIA looks at it, particularly from a technical skills. We start with digital awareness with as early as middle school or lower. We have digital literacy for middle school and high school above. Career literacy, we start to teach people about jobs. One of the things for those who are professionals, if we've been out in the work world a long time, we think everybody understands what jobs and careers are. If you speak to a young person, you pretty quickly understand they don't have a real good idea of what careers are out there. We move up into digital fluency, helping people have a higher level understanding using different types of products, the Microsoft suite, the Google suite of products. Pre-professional, this is where we're starting to give people a really stronger, deeper set of technical skills. Not yet enough to really get a full-time technical job, but would help them land some type of technology adjacent job, maybe not in the IT area of a company, but definitely some great skills to gain. We get up into professional, and this was CompTIA's original sweet spot. Our landmark products, A+, Net+, Security+. We're also doing a lot of job role training in this area and training on different technologies outside of CompTIA, like our Hybrid Pro server certificate from Microsoft. And the next thing we're really excited about is we're building an expert level series of certifications and learning. So again, I think what this product stack represents is our mission is to grow the talent pipeline. Unfortunately, what we see a lot in the technology space is large tech companies poaching from each other. That drives up salaries in a lot of the Bay Area and Pacific Northwest to really high levels, which are difficult for companies to handle, and paying a lot of money to retain search firms, but we're not growing the pipeline. So that's a key mission of CompTIA and why we're starting at the lowest levels, even below middle school, and starting to make people aware of technology all the way through becoming, for example, a cybersecurity expert with a Security X certificate. So that's kind of how we look at the world, starting right from the base and helping everyone move forward, whether they get specifically a technology job or not. Almost every role in a modern job today will require some level of knowledge of data, of coding, scripting, and so forth. Oops. Oops, sorry, a misstep there. So I wanted to ask one more poll question. Sorry, Stephanie, I fat-fingered it. I wanted to ask one more question. Who's eliminated the 4-year college degree requirement for some jobs? Okay, about 30% has. So that's great. There's definitely movement in that area. CompTIA has done that as well. Obviously, your CFO probably needs to have an accounting degree and be a CPA to run a large organization. But there are many great entry-level jobs that companies can work. People can work people in from all walks of life, provide more opportunity and more diversity of candidates. So that's a big mission of ours right now. Again, a college degree, a great thing to get, but not all jobs, particularly entry level, require that. So moving forward past the product stack, here's another key thing we're doing around the areas of competency. One of the things that we looked at is that there were a lot of job role libraries out there, but when it came to technology, no one really had the bandwidth or the reach to really define the set of job roles out in the technology landscape. And also it changes rapidly. You can imagine with AI, the amount of change there'll be in technology jobs in the next year. Part of CompTIA's role is we decided to take that on. So we're in the process of building out a rich set of job roles for the technology industry. We've identified between 30 to 50 of the core job roles, and we're starting to build that out. Along the way, doing research, we experienced a problem out in the industry. As we started to do that research on technology job roles, we realized there was a major problem with the overspecking of job postings. And our request is, please don't do that. In fact, we partnered with Lightcast, formerly known as Burning Glass, to create our job posting optimizer. You can see the link there, optimize.comptia.org. It's a free site, and it lets you evaluate your technology job roles to make sure you're not overspeccing them. What do I mean by that? In preparing for one of our conferences recently, I did some kind of cruising around Indeed.com. I found an entry-level tech support job that required 3 to 5 years of experience, a degree, and knowledge of tool sets like Zendesk, HubSpot, Microsoft Dynamics. And kind of what hit home to me is with those types of specking of a job role, organizations are saying there's no qualified people out there. But if we're making the qualifications the first rung of that ladder 10 feet in the air, how can more people get their foot on the bottom of the ladder? So that's more of a public service announcement from CompTIA, but we welcome everyone to use the optimize.comptia.org job posting optimizer. So let's get back to what I was bringing you to. We are building a comprehensive set, 30 to 50 of the core, most popular job roles out there. And we're putting them in a really rich database, which we are committing to build and maintain over time. And it's these job roles are going really deep. Some of the things I've highlighted in there are these will have salary information, number of jobs, US and globally, workforce size, the growth projections of those jobs. Is this job role growing, or is it starting to diminish? I think in the age of AI, that's a question my own children ask me. Dad, what jobs are safe in the world of AI? So we're going to be doing a lot of work around that with this project as well. We'll have this, the base things in there, core responsibilities, key tasks, but also the durable skills required in this job, not just the technical skills. And then we are including rungs so that people can know you can move within this job. And then when you've accomplished all those competencies and demonstrated them, you can have the ability within your company to move up, or potentially, as I showed in the other example, move across into another job role. So this is an example of some of the work that we're doing for the industry as part of our role as a nonprofit to help put together all these job roles. Phase 2 of this project is we're developing job role training and certificate programs around all these job roles with a goal of making this type of job role training affordable and available to as many people as possible. So that's a little bit as far as how we're trying to help solve some of the issues around how organizations can find qualified people and how people can target and say, hey, that looks like that job could be me. That could be good for me. And we're building some very deep career exploration tools on our website now to help people who may have an interest in technology. Maybe they have a little bit of a confidence gap, and we're going to help people close that gap and build that technology talent pipeline. So as I mentioned in the very top, one of the first slides when I showed where CompTIA came from, I think probably one of the most important thing along this journey in my close to 12 years here is when I entered this technology certification and training world, most of the tests that most of the major technology certification bodies were putting forward were multiple choice. And it became pretty clear to us, and as I've said before with our work with the US government, that it really became clear that we were only going to be able to prove rote knowledge, memorized knowledge through multiple choice. So we really took it as a mission to go deeper and deeper, and we've taken that role very seriously over time. And we've worked really hard to help create these series of different projects and tools. And our approach in developing our certifications and training so that when people have our certifications or go through our certificate programs, they'll be able to say, and we'll be able to verify that those people are job ready on day one, which is really, really critical. So, quick example here. This is an example of one of our fairly detailed security simulations that we have the ability to build at scale. And in this scenario, you're a security analyst at a small company. You're defending against a DNS spoofing attack. Your time and performance in this lab is scored and tracked. And these same type of labs appear in both the training and your final assessment. And future versions of these labs, our goal is to compare your lab performance to an expert doing the same task. So over time, you can see the gap between your level of competence and an expert, and you can work toward that expert competence, which I think for us is really where we see competency going. In the age of AI, Google made knowledge more accessible, and in the age of ChatGPT, low-level knowledge is 100% at your fingertips, particularly now that ChatGPT is available as a mobile app on your phone. We feel that, and I think the industry and the research backs it up, the people who are going to have truly durable jobs are the people who have true competency and true skill. And so CompTIA's mission is to continue to build better and better performance-based tools and simulations, performance-based at scale, so that people can really prove true capability. So last example here that I will show you is if we think about demonstration of competency versus proof of knowledge, it's pretty important, as I said, in an AI world. And my last example here is when you're hiring the cybersecurity analyst that stands between your company and a ransomware attack, what credentials and competency do you want at the helm? And as I said, in the early days of CompTIA, you might be looking at a college grad with a 5-year-old degree. And that degree may have been based on multiple choice assessments and no technical certifications. The other ends of the spectrum today, you can have a candidate with no degree, but 5 years of relevant experience, up-to-date performance-based industry recognized technical certifications and training. And the question there is, who are you going to interview and who are you going to look at hiring and bringing in to your organization to fill those kind of unicorn cybersecurity jobs that many organizations are competing to hire that kind of talent. Last thing, I'll just kind of put forth CompTIA's mission again. Our goal is to unlock potential for millions of people facing barriers to entry in achieving well-paying technology careers. And on the other side of the market, we want to provide a larger day one ready, competent technology talent pipeline to the market. And that is the end of my presentation.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom. Can you hear me? Okay, Tom cannot hear me. All right. Well, Tom, I wish you, okay. I don't know, guys. If you have questions, put them in the chat so that Tom can see them. Otherwise, this has been a great presentation. I think a lot of these concepts and topics are so applicable to any industry, especially L&D, where there are lots of valuable certifications and so many people coming into instructional design from different backgrounds like teaching or other things. It's really important to see, that people truly know what they're doing, especially if they don't have that educational background. So can you hear me now, Tom? Please tell me you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My speaker cut out. It was on my end. My speaker cut out.
All
My
right.
IT skills probably could use some certification as well.
You know, what's a Zoom meeting without a few tech problems? Okay, we do have a question. What's the origin and history of the T-shaped model that you shared earlier?
Yeah, that's interesting. When I was looking into that, I believe it came from the founder of IDEO,
Okay.
which is a really, I mean, we did some work with them about 5 years ago, and they're an amazing, I would call them almost you know, design thinking and
Yeah,
experiential design
I've heard of
organization.
them.
Yeah.
We've had some other presenters reference them for the design thinking model. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that response. That was helpful. Sorry, everyone, for those slight audio difficulties in the beginning, but we made it work. And we will be sharing, I'll share out the slides for everyone. Oh, okay, what was this? I know nothing about tech. So for someone trying to create e-learning courses and edit web pages, what would be a good certification to start with?
Oh, that's interesting. For creating e-learning. I would say the route for that, in my past experience, would be if there is like an industry leading tool that you're using for authoring, those organizations will often have training or even a product certification program. So some of those tool makers like Adobe or
Yeah,
other.
and I think ATD offers some certifications. Oh, here we have another question. What are some specific technical skills that you would recommend for someone in learning and development? Are there some that you think would be a good overlap for different industries?
Yeah. So one of the things we're doing right now is building a whole data pathway. And I know, like I mentioned, as in talking to my own children, um, I'm having them all learn coding and learn about data. And also, those are a couple of the key things that I think all knowledge workers are going to need to understand. An area we're going deep in our development of learning is around learning analytics and data and AI. And one of our upcoming projects right now is not unlike Conmigo. If anyone saw, I was at ASU GSV when Sal Khan from Khan Academy rolled out Conmigo, which is an AI-based tutor in a closed system that helps people get help when they're in the learning process. I think learning about AI, learning about data, and learning some basic coding and scripting skills, I think would help almost any instructional designer or e-learning developer. And I'll double down, or as one of the people I listen to on podcasts, Scott Galloway, NYU professor, would say, AI is not going to take your job, but someone who understands AI will likely take your job if you don't. And we have at least 4 major AI-based projects going on today. Now, my guiding principles around those are, number one, we are working in closed systems with our own IP. We don't infringe others' IP, and we don't post our intellectual property or IP anywhere else. But we are doing 4 major projects to make sure we fully understand AI, and we're looking to leverage it for productivity, but in safe ways. No one wants to end up in the headlines like the person from Samsung who put like trade secrets out in ChatGPT. So yeah, I think AI is right up there along with coding and data.
Yeah, those are great recommendations. I know one of our presenters from our virtual conference last week was showing a few things that you can do with just a little bit of JavaScript knowledge, integrating that into an authoring tool. You can really create some highly interactive stuff with just a little bit of coding knowledge. So that's a great recommendation. Okay, here's another question. Are you using XAPI or CMI 5 to ensure that your training records, certificates, and badges are independently awarded and verifiable?
Yeah, so we work with Credly on our badging, and we support multiple integration frameworks. Many organizations we work with, particularly around academic, use LTI 1.3 for both SSO and verification of grade passback. I believe we've acquired a company recently, and I believe we already have or are working on XAPI. But that seems to be a standard which kind of hovered for quite a while, but is gaining a lot of importance.
Yes, definitely. XAPI is a big buzzword in L&D for us. All right. I think that's all the questions that we have. Thank you so much, Tom, for taking the time to join us today. This has been fantastic, very applicable, I think, to all industries and helpful for everyone as they're kind of going about considering how to evaluate skills, which is what we do all day in learning. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. This session was recorded, so we will be sending that out via email. And hopefully we'll see you all on another webinar soon. Have a great rest of your day.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks, Tom.